Rollo Tomasi, the self-proclaimed godfather of the Red Pill, finally got a sit-down with Destiny and Sneako, and he brought on his buddy Michael, who I'm also familiar with, and Michael by far is the most sensible one out of all the Red Pillars. I've also had a discussion/debate with him on a Purple Pill pod, and so we're going to be looking at all of this and getting to the crux of the brewing civil war within the Red Pill community. It blows my mind that both Michael and Rollo profess faith in the bodily resurrection of Jesus. Okay, Rollo in his book, The Rational Male, Michael in his debate with me on the Purple Pill podcast. Yet in this conversation, it just blows my mind that Destiny, who I believe is agnostic, and Sneako, who's a newly converted Muslim, make the most coherent sense in this back and forth. I don't know what to do with that. Okay, so let's jump in, shall we?
You guys advocating for? So when I would bring up like Andrew Tate tweets and Bugattis and all that shit, a lot of the times these two clowns would tell me, they'd say, oh, this stuff's just a proxy for success. You know, you don't actually need the Bugatti. You need the ability to buy the Bugatti. You don't need to travel the world. You need to have freedom, you know, and all these things.
The Bugatti's just a tool. What color is your Bugatti, right? Ignoring how he got to the Bugatti, which was a webcam business, which may or may not be a gray area of the law, but we'll table that for now.
So lucky we're moderating.
Yeah, man. So it seems like it feels like Lamborghinis. It feels like the goal initially wasn't to like be the richest motherfucker in the world. The goal was to have the freedom to basically do what you want. Right. And then I think the confusing part is it feels like there's this kind of schism happening right now, or it's already started to happen in the Red Pill community. We've got like the kind of trad people that are going in one direction, and then you've got like the grindset hustle culture that are going in the other direction. And it feels like the lightning point for this was your tweet, where it was like, okay, we're gonna make it clear where we stand. Yeah. Get a fucking vasectomy, family, and do this shit. And I think that it feels like the ultimate red pillar to you guys is what this is feeling of. The ultimate red pillar is a guy that grinds his fucking life away, and then at 35, he's like got fucking 15 million in the bank. He's 50 girls, and now he's looking for like the best mom that he can find, who's like 20, 21 years old. He's gonna get with that girl, 0-1 body count at the most, maybe 1, 0 at the best, right? Virgin girl gets with her, has a family, and then boom, that's like his life. Whereas it feels like,
yo, what a terrible existence. What a terrible existence.
On the kind of traditional side, it's like, well, what if you were like 24 and found a really good woman at 22, and then you had a family at 25, and you followed your career, she stayed at home, took care of the kids, and you followed that more traditional route. And your tweet, I think, really showed the division of people in terms of how they felt about which of the two lifestyles people were actually aiming for.
I mean, the latter's more or less the life of me and almost all of my friends, who are all happy, by the way.
Got it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And Sneako can...
Yeah, so what do you believe in? Like, do you think that is the life that you should follow? Because when you go to the Red Pill spaces, that's pretty much the end route, is because you're high value, you got a bunch of Lamborghinis, you're extremely rich. And we talk about competence when it comes to a high value man. Like, I didn't have a rich dad growing up, and that didn't really hinder his competence. And in fact, in a lot of ways, being a father will help you become more competent because other people are dependent and you're responsible for them. So that will make you become a full, capable man, which is, I think, the most important part of life. It's the most important part of life is not having a bunch of hoes, not 50 girls, or getting the most amount of money possible and just hustle, grinding forever. The reason that we are here is to have a family, is to create. And so
again, this is amazing. This is amazing.
You see the Red Pill, and it's a response to feminism. You see this doomer way, like all these girls are hoes, all these girls on Instagram, they're all thoughts, whatever, they all belong to the streets. And so the reaction to that is the Red Pill, which is basically feminism, just male feminism. It's the same response. We make fun of girls who say that they want to freeze their eggs and wait till they're 35, and then men are giving the same advice to each other, saying, and I know you're not saying that's advice, but pretty much, like, if you look at the definition of advice, that's what that tweet was.
Yeah, so I think there's two things here. We specifically don't run around calling girls 304s, and like I actually have a problem with it, because I hear you sometimes talk about
and again, shout out to Michael, by far one of the more sensible voices in this community. Him and Rollo even have some disagreements, and if you want to know some of those, you can go watch my debate with Michael as well. We actually found a lot more common ground than me and Rollo did, because he's more of a David Buss guy. Hey, you want to see something kind of crazy? Over 75% of the people that watch this channel are not subscribed. Please consider subscribing and turning your bell notification on so that you don't miss anything we have going here.
So anyway, the audience there, we have to separate the audience, almost like Christ, Christianity, and the church. We have,
they're Christ, Christianity, and church. He professes to be a believer.
To separate the audience, because I agree with you. There's some that I see that people write on your streams as well, where I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? This is crazy, and I don't want to be associated with it. Red Pill is not, and again, I'm Red Pill adjacent. Red Pill is not something I get a union card for that I pay dues for. It's an ethereal thing that just sort of exists. Like, he calls it a praxeology. So the idea that, like, one of the things that's happened is every time, because he calls himself the godfather of it, when somebody does some stupid shit,
he calls himself the godfather of it. Thank you for confirming that.
in the arena, then it's his fault, and then now we're gonna punch his book, because now the thing is, this doesn't, it's just a cloud, but then there's a book. Okay, now we have a physical thing to attack. And now Rollo has a tweet. Now we have a physical thing to attack. And so that's
because the book and the tweet are asinine.
The issue is that like now he's being held.
It's just bad advice, bad science.
That tweet was advice, but it was for advice to become a certain type of high value man that Rollo isn't saying everybody needs to become.
It said the quickest.
So, yeah, the quickest way to get to this part, it was the advice to do that, but he wasn't necessarily advising you to do that, right? It would be like him tweeting out, like, if you want to become the flattest person possible, jump off a cliff. And they say, well, is that advice to jump off a cliff? Well, if you want to be the flattest person possible, but you don't have to do this thing because you don't have to be the flattest person.
Statement.
Yeah, exactly, sure.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, there's a few people who got it almost immediately. Hotep Jesus got it immediately. He did stream it. Jedediah Bila, while you were on with Jedediah, she got it immediately. She's like, I know Rollo. I know he's not like this. I know this is a troll. This is she understood it immediately.
But then I also saw
she's familiar with my background.
I also saw you tweet the next day, like you were kind of making fun of the TradCon way of life, saying that you want to be out of your funeral bed with a bunch of kids around.
I was
saying that you would rather be listening to metal in your car.
I was mocking the idea of this sort of pastoral kind of Norman Rockwell fantasy of dying on your bed with, like, as an old man with surrounded by grandchildren and whatever, and like as if that's like my funeral's going to beat your funeral,
right?
As if it's like
heavy metal in a car.
I put it this way: would you rather go out in a blaze of glory? Would you rather, was it better to burn out than fade away? What would you rather?
I don't see heavy metal in your car as a blaze of glory. That seems.
Okay,
but
here's the thing: is it's over the top because I'm drawing attention to this fantasy of staying in your bed in an assisted living facility when 90% of people are never going to experience that. But it's a fantasy that we sell people so that we can sell them other ideology.
But you're selling them an ideology. Oh, this is so bad.
One other thing, you remember what he said earlier? He's like, one of the things you said was avoid family creation. Had I written that same tweet, what I would have said instead was be the one who chooses when and where you have kids, and don't let
control the birth.
Control the birth.
Wow, imagine that.
Well, I understand. Yeah, so I understand.
The extreme example of that is a vasectomy. I would not have said vasectomy, but guess what? My tweet would not have gone viral. I wish I could say vasectomy on Twitter all day and go viral.
That's the only thing they focused on.
So I understand what you're saying now. So I would argue that you do pay dues to some extent to certain.
You know what it is, and so they basically go on to say, like, because the tweet was viral, that therefore it was somehow good. Because it went viral and it got people's attention. So it's this whole like all press is good press. When in reality, you're just making a mockery of this entire community you claim to care about. This isn't good press. This isn't a good thing telling men to get vasectomies. All press isn't good press. And just because something is viral doesn't mean it's good. There's a lot of stuff that's viral that's not good. Rollo wanted to debate Destiny and just turned into Michael debating Destiny, which was much better than Rollo debating Destiny.
Meant to provoke. That's number one, and it did. I got Matt Walsh, I got Ben Shapiro, I got Lauren Shannon. We wouldn't even be talking about this right now.
I don't have any of those people.
That doesn't mean that it's good. There's a lot of goofy stuff that goes viral. That doesn't mean that it's good. Just because you're going viral for a tweet and everyone is roasting you, Rollo, that doesn't mean that it's good. It doesn't. It just means that you got attention. Not all attention is good attention. Just like women who post thirst traps, that's not good attention. This is like the sheer level of disconnection from the very basics of like understanding just because something is wide doesn't mean that it's helping people.
That's the only thing I'm saying. Like I retweeted this.
Cool, man. So it was a popular tweet. Great. Hey, this is a segment from our daily after party stream. Consider partnering with us online for as little as $5 a month to get access to these daily after party streams completely unedited. You'll also get access to our podcast as they are streamed live into the community before anyone else gets to see them, get to interact with our guests, get access to our private Discord server, and a discount code for our store for as little as $5 a month. Ultimately, that will help towards helping us continue contextualizing the gospel using media and podcast here on YouTube. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.